Okay, and welcome to you all to a quick overview to myAgent. myAgent being the contact center application that we provide with OpenScape Business S instances for our clients. What I've just done is I've just opened the myAgent application, and you can see the screen here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what an agent would do. And then what we'll do is we'll show you a live contact center running, so you can get a feel for how it actually works in the real world rather than in a demonstration environment. Okay, so I'm the agent and I've just opened the application. I've come into work, and the first thing I'm going to do is basically log in. Okay, and ask me to select my extension number, and my extension number is 100 on the demo system. So immediately here we can see that I've logged in. I'm a primary agent, and effectively I can do callbacks, and I'll explain callbacks a little bit later on. And I have a skill level of 0, which most people believe is absolutely spot on. But there you go. So effectively I'm now available to take a call. But as an agent, really all I'm concerned about is this little part of the application here. So I've logged in, nothing's happening, and I'll just minimize the application. I'll leave it open or running all day. So the first thing we're going to do is to fire a call into the application. So you can see now it's screen popped immediately, and I can answer that call. So effectively I am talking, I'm in the support queue, and I'm talking to the application launcher demonstration phone. So what happens if more calls come in? Well, the logical thing is that those calls will queue and will sit there, and effectively they'll be getting greetings, messages, the opportunity to do callbacks and all of this kind of stuff. So anyway, so I'm basically on this call, and we can still see that we've got other calls queuing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my first call down. You can see the application has gone away, but I'm going to maximize it again because I'm now in what we call work time, and work time is something that can be configured by an administrator. But just to show you sort of like what happens, effectively that'll either run down to 0, or I'll receive calls because I'm now free, and effectively I'll take the next call in queue, and the process goes on. So other things that I can do as an agent before we show you it working in a real world. Effectively here I can ask for assistance. If I ask for assistance, this is basically saying to my supervisor, supervisor, please can you help? Supervisor then will basically see this message pop up, will be able to intrude on a call, listen on a call, and help out, or just help me out with internal messaging. I'm going to hang up the call again, the one that's live. So you can see the application automatically goes away. If I open the application again, you see that I'm back in work time. This call is still queuing, which is great. But what I'm going to do is go on break. So again, all of the breaks are available. So coffee, I'm going to go away for 10 minutes. You'll see that my status has changed. Anybody else using say my portal or my portal for Outlook or the operator console will see the presence of myself now as being on break, but you can see that call is just going to sit there and queue. And what I'm going to do now is just hang that call up, so I can maybe go to lunch, because I've pressed the wrong one, so I'm on lunch now, and again my presence has changed, or I can come back in and I can click on receive calls. Okay, moving along, if I am a supervisor, and I am in this instance, so what I could do, because we're short of people, is drag people. Display only agents. Here we go. So I could drag somebody, for instance, into the IHS queue, overflow agent, and I'll explain that now. So effectively you can see that that's got a lighter body, and the overflow agent is somebody that will only receive a call if the primary agents aren't available and other call rules have been agreed and accepted. So I drag myself in there as a primary agent. You can see that I'm logged in, so if a call comes in now to the IHS queue, then I will take that call, whereas I wasn't in that queue a moment ago, but now I am. So from an admin point of view, a supervisor's point of view, it's a very simple system to look after. Very simple for you to look after your agents. Caller list, you're not going to get an awful lot out of this on this system, because this is obviously just a demonstration system, but these are abandoned calls. This is me calling in this demonstration and just hanging up effectively. But you can right click, you can phone these people back. So again, if you've got an abandoned call list like this, very simple, go into the abandoned call and play them back. Then as a supervisor, you get access to a supervisor or an administrator of the system gets access to about 20 standard reports. So that's kind of it from an agent point of view. What I'd like to show you now on my screen is a live contact center. So this is for one of our clients called Pelican Rouge. Pelican Rouge are a vending company, second largest in Europe, and this contact center takes on average about 1,000 inbound calls a day, and we've got multiple queues and multiple agents working in the queues. So the primary queue is the one that we call the vending queue, and this is what's being displayed at the bottom here. So we can see that we've got agents logged in. We've got Hyacinth here, for instance, she's on a break. Marcus, who is the call center supervisor, has actually missed a call, so he's forgotten to log himself out or put himself on work time. And because there's shift patterns, we can see that there's others like Dan and Daryl here that aren't actually logged in. In the main window here, we can see that we've got 2 live calls in vending. We can see that queued for 8 seconds, so great answer time. It's been talking for 108 seconds and so forth. We can see a new call coming in. And what the contact center application will do out of the box is present the call to the longest idle agent, i.e. the agent that has not taken a call for the longest amount of time. But then, as you've seen in the brief demonstration that I did in a demo environment, what we can do is actually specify things like skill level and whether it's an overflow agent. If it is an overflow agent, how many calls need to be in queue and so forth. So the application is one, incredibly simple, but 2, very powerful for inbound calls. So you can set things like VIP callers. You can move, for instance, I could move this call if it was a queuing to the top position, because I'd recognise that was a key client. What is probably more useful here is if we look at the reports, for instance, and if we just look at, say, a queue summary. So we'll look at the queue summary for today. And that will go away and generate a report, and it will show you statistical information on all of the queues, how many calls there have been, what the average ring time was, i.e. what we call the alert time, how long did it ring for, how long was it in the queue, and so forth, so forth. So that's a propeller view or a helicopter view of the myAgent application. It's incredibly powerful. You don't need to think of yourself as a contact center. A contact center in our world is just somewhere that takes an awful lot of calls, and you want to be able to manage and report on those calls in a professional fashion. So that's myAgent for OpenScape Business S, which we host in the cloud for our clients.